Welcome back to Let's Have It Out. My guests are Thando Gumede from the Women Forward Party, Vuyolwethu Zungula, the ATM president, and Dumo Denga from the Capitalist Party of South Africa. If you're just joining us, we're having a debate about why at all should we consider smaller political parties at the ballot on 8th of May. Before we went to the break, I said to you, Vuyolwethu, that I think it is important that we have a conversation about the free market, private sector behavior, its attitude, versus your party saying, actually, the private sector needs a bit more regulation through government mechanisms such as the Public Procurement Act, the Public Finance Management Act. Talk to me about that. Why is that a thing that should be most important at the minds of voters on the 8th of May?
The government has got a responsibility to create a business environment that works in the favor of the people, because a government is there to protect the interests of the people. Now, if the private sector is not regulated for the benefit of the people, you'll have a private sector that is bullying the people, and you have a private sector that is taking advantage of the people. So what we are saying as the ATM is that you need to create that kind of environment so that the people have got their protectors, which is the government. Right. That is what we stand for as the ATM. Now, we also want to create bylaws in the microeconomy that will prohibit any foreign nationals from participating in the microeconomy, because we've got a chronic unemployment.
So wait, let me get this right. You guys wanted to make it illegal for Somalian nationals to own spaza shops in townships. Is that what you're saying? We
want the foreign nationals to participate in the, in formal registered businesses.
Many of them do currently.
Now, you've got a problem whereby South Africans are not participating in their own microeconomy. Now, that is what is hampering the growth, economic growth of the people in the townships, because they're not participating in the townships.
Let's get that right. What exactly will you be changing to ensure that South Africans are able to participate in the microeconomy?
You create bylaws that are saying all foreign nationals, they need to open what we call registered businesses. And in the space of the township, rural and inner city economy, that space must be for the exclusive use of only South Africans.
So no tuck shops and spaza shops by foreign nationals in the townships, yes or no?
The tuck shops, everything in those type of economies must be for the exclusive use of South Africans.
Wow. Thando, you guys obviously are not just a party, about the breaking down patriarchy. You certainly have an idea of what you want the economy to look like. Talk to us about your economic policy approach.
Well, I mean, our approach is that if women are not participating fully in the economy, not only just in the unskilled labor market, but also in the skilled labor market, then the economy is just not going to grow. For example, if you look at a country like Norway, Norway used to be the most poorest country in the world. And once they started putting women in the labor force, it has now come out as one of the richest countries in the world. If you look historically in any country around the world, whenever you have dismantled the exclusion of women in participating in the economy always jumps and booms. So South Africa has done itself.
How will you guys put women in those positions?
Well, first, we're looking at, for example, skilling women in the fourth industrial revolution. I had the honor of being part of the first ever female youth assembly that was hosted last week with the Department of Women. And we looked at some of the skills that are needed for the fourth industrial revolution.
Right.
One of those skills is in data science and in artificial intelligence. So what we can do now is to start skilling the most marginalized groups, being women and people with disabilities, LGBTQIA plus peoples, and giving them the opportunity to learn about this untapped resource that will be the future of our society, not in 10 years' time or 20 years' time, but probably in about 5, 6, 7 years' time.
Let's take a caller from Khayelitsha. We've got Dr. Nkomfa on the line. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. God is on the throne.
Go right ahead with your comment or question.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank the leaders there. And I'm very impressed with the gentleman with the black jacket. I don't know what is this organization. I think it's ATM. But I think I'm more impressed with the new ideology that they're bringing. But my question is not to them tonight. It's to the media. Why is the media depriving us, all these smaller parties, on the media. You're always giving us the big parties. Why is the media marginalizing these small parties? Why are you not creating a fair and equal fair competition ground? Give them a fair chance. It's the first time we even hear of some of the parties here. And it's not fair. The media must not always support the big guys and kill the smaller ones. That our democracy is not fair in that way. Because these smaller parties that are coming here tonight, we're listening to them. They are coming with new ideologies that are going to build a better South Africa. But we are deprived them because they are not in charge of the economy and the country. Now you are supporting the bigger guys. The media must remain the media and give us everything around. Stay out of politics. Because it sounds that even you media now are dividing us.
Dr. Nkomfa, I thank you so much for that comment. If you're posing that question to the media, I think perhaps you're posing that question to me. I think firstly, I mean, you're watching these people on this program right now. Last time I checked, ENCA is one of the largest media platforms in South Africa. Secondly, a lot of these parties are less than a year old, meaning they've had very little time to build a profile to reach you in the first place. And the only reason they're reaching you anyway is because of the media. So I think much respect should be paid to the media. But let's talk about campaigning mechanisms, because how you reach people is through campaigning. You guys have a purple car on street corners. You guys have a digital-only approach. What are you guys doing? Are you guys doing at ATM?
We're a people-driven organization. One thing that is damaging our democracy is the issue of party funding. Political parties are funded by private interests, and you find that those political parties, they are representing the interests of those funders. We're a party that is owned and funded by the people. Now, that is why you won't see a lot of billboards of the ATM, because we are funded by the people. Our people, our members, are the moving billboards, because we engage communities on a daily basis. So we reach out to the people each and every day through social media campaigns, through church organizations, to community-based organizations. That is what we're doing to reach out to the people.
Who are funding you guys? Let's start with you guys, Thando.
Just like ATM, we're basically funding ourselves. I mean, we're very similar in that we are a very grassroots level organization, and probably the reason why people don't know about us is because we speak to the people who don't have a voice.
Okay.
And so it would be difficult for those people to be seen and heard.
Who's funding the Capitalist Party of South Africa?
It's our founding members and people that want to donate to us. That's really much what it is.
Who are these founding members? How much money is there circulating?
Well, I'm not going to disclose that, but what I can say is that with regards to donations, if anyone donates more than 50,000, we'll disclose it to the public.
Are you willing to make a disclosure here right now? Or are you saying no one's donated more than 50,000?
Well, I don't have the information with me right now. Someone could have just deposited right now and I wouldn't know about it. So
let's take another call from Lutando in Butterworth. Lutando, thank you so much for your call.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Fantastic. Go right ahead with your comment or question.
I would like to ask the president of the African Transformation Movement that in light of the increase in violent crime and gender-based violence in South Africa, where we see young children being killed and raped by their parents, where we see women being slaughtered and burnt by their boyfriends, amongst other things. And in the recent past, the lead actor of Umatwetwe was also mercilessly killed. What would the ATM do to try and prevent this kind of killing in our country, and obviously these violent crimes being committed? What would the ATM come up with that would protect the vulnerable citizens of South Africa?
Right. That's a very beautiful question, Lutando from Butterworth. Thank you so much for that. We're going to answer that question after the break. We take more of your calls and your comments after the break. Stay with us.